Coming up on Open for Business, South Bend Chamber of Commerce President Jeff Ray talks about the economic development in Michiana. Chuck features United Health Services Suicide Prevention Program and what services are available. Michiana Crime Stoppers stops by to let you know how you can help solve a crime. And Kathy takes a tour of all the fall fun at Fashion Farm. Stay with us, Michiana. We're open for business.
We are here now with Jeff Ray, President and CEO of the South Bend Regional Chamber of Commerce. And welcome, Jeff.
Charlie, great to see you. Thanks for having me out.
I am so excited to get the latest about everything going on with the Chamber. When you talk about current developments, the battery plant, other things, this time of the year, what are some of the things to share?
You know, I think the battery plant is probably the thing that's most exciting to people. If you've been out on State Road 2, you see equipment starting to move dirt, and that's going to be a long process. This is a 2 million square foot building that will take about 2 years to construct. And so at the end of 25 into 26, the plant will be open, or will start to open at the end by probably 2027 before full production there. But this is a project that's going to employ some 2,000 people here in our marketplace. 2,000 first to build it, 2,000 then to work it and staff and operate the plant. It's about a $3.5 billion investment here. So largest single project in Indiana's history. We got it for Northern Indiana, and we got it for a company that has a great reputation. So General Motors is certainly no stranger to folks. It has operations all over Indiana. It has 5 other plants already here, employs several thousand people. So we're pretty excited about that moving forward.
Jeff, you're in your 14th year now as the leader of the South Bend Regional Chamber of Commerce. Talk about what it offers. Great history over a century, right?
Yeah.
And some of the things, because you manage several different areas there. Yeah,
so, you know, it's interesting. We have a couple hats. We also do the Greater Niles Chamber, too. So we cover 2 states, and so we really, it's business advocacy at our core. We're really advocates for our 1,300 member businesses. Those businesses employ about 70,000 people in our region. And so we're looking out for their best interest at City Hall, at the State House, in Washington, D.C., those types of things. The second piece is really the economic development piece. So on a General Motors-like project, for example, we've worked about 20 months on trying to make that happen. We're competing with communities all across the country who want that same investment happening. And so it's a game of survivor, and every week we hope we don't get voted off the island, and at the end we won. And so we spent a lot of time in that space. And then the third is on the tourism side. So we have the second biggest tourist attraction in the state of Indiana here in our marketplace. It's on bucket list, Notre Dame, if people didn't know. And so we're working to drive traffic here. Tourists come here, they spend money, they support our economy, they help drive the businesses in the area and stuff. So we really focus on those 3 principal things.
Jeff, when you get up in the morning, your why, being a part of this for over 13 years, and when you look into the future with the Chamber, what are some of the things that really get you going?
Yeah, you know, the one thing I love most about the job is it's different every single day. And someday I'm working with General Motors on a $3.5 billion project, and the next day I'm working with a mom and pop who are thinking about opening up the corner store and investing their life savings on something. And so I love that piece of it. You know, we had a period in time where we didn't do very well here. We were on the dying city list, and people were kind of down on the economy, what happened in the area. We had that period from, I would say, Studebaker closing and until the 2010, but things are really on the upswing, so I'm really excited about the progress, and I think that gets me motivated. This is my hometown, I'm from here, and I want to see it grow.
When you talk about the upswing and the advantages of this part of Indiana and even the Niles area, what are some of the things that people need to know that maybe they don't realize even if they live in this area?
You know, I think the geography drives most of what's happening there. You know, our proximity to Chicago, Detroit, Indianapolis, major markets, and easy transportation connections is probably the principal thing that happens, that drives. I always like to say it's a phenomenal sales team, but it's part phenomenal sales team, part of those characteristics. But I also think Indiana's tax and business regulatory climate, when we stack up really well against all states in the country. So every major project in the country that's looked at doing something has looked at this area. And there was a period of time where we didn't get those looks. And so I think that's what's got us really excited. People, you know, the cost of living here is phenomenal. Yes. Typically one of the best 5 in the country on cost of living. So people, obviously cost affect people in a lot of different ways, but compared to other parts, we do really well in that space and such. So a lot of those factors are good. You know, we're not without challenges. Every community has those challenges, and it's how we address those. But we've got some great schools. We've got wonderful higher ed institutions. We've got those geographic conditions. We've got the tax and business and regulatory climate that really have us excelling on all levels.
We've got about a minute left. What would you say to organizations or small businesses out there that maybe are not in the chamber, how it could benefit them?
Yeah, I think the connection to other businesses is probably the big things. We do some 200 events over the course of the year for really our biggest member has 6,000 employees, our smallest member has 2 or 1 employee. And so connecting to doing others. We think our business want to do business with others, and so that we give them that connection, those platforms that they can help network, which ultimately lead to more business opportunities for them.
Jeff, when people want to follow up and see your social media, what are some of the platforms that get a lot of traffic where people can go to and keep up on all the exciting developments?
Yeah, so sbrchamber.com, South Bend Region Chamber.com, and then similar on X or on LinkedIn, find us there, sbrchamber.com as well.
Wow, I know you have been there for 13 years, and congratulations on your leadership and your team that you have, dynamic people there.
Thank you. We're very lucky and a great supportive business community, a lot of great partners like you folks out here. We're really grateful for the opportunity today.
Jeff Ray, President and CEO of the South Bend Regional Chamber of Commerce.
Stay active and energized with the Vitality Pack from MHC Life. Remove toxins from the body with a naturally occurring trace and electrolyte mineral supplement for better focus and energy. And get a balanced combination of vitamins and minerals along with organic flaxseed oil for an overall sense of well-being. To order, visit mhclife.com or call 1-800-965-2345.
Welcome back to Open for Business. It's Chuck Freeby, joined by Kent Laudeman, who is the director of the Suicide Prevention Center for St. Joseph County. And Kent, we've seen ads run during sporting events from the Indianapolis Colts talking about taking away the stigma of mental health and talking about that and depression. What kind of things are you and your area working on about taking away the stigma of talking about mental health and suicide?
Well, it's certainly something we need to talk about. There's no question about that. So I do a yellow ribbon program in school for junior high school, senior high school students, mostly in health classes. And it's a 1-hour presentation, and basically we kind of focus on, you know, I can save a life, you can save a life, we can save a life if we know what to do. So talking about it is getting rid of stigma, okay? And my background as such is that I'm a survivor, 3 suicide losses and battle buddies as far as armed forces are concerned. I also do a suicide survivor support group, so I can identify with that group. I do a pretty good job with kids because I could bring my Army background in as far as some stories are concerned. So it's something we just need to talk about, okay? Get out there.
You mentioned the suicides that you have been unfortunate to see from people that you know. What were some of the risk factors and warning signs that we should know about? What are some of the things that we can do to be active in suicide prevention?
Well, we know that risk factors are there for young people. You know, suicide numbers were going down in 2019, 2020, and all of a sudden, CDC report now in 2021 and 22, they're inching back up 3% in that area. In fact, 2021 was up for young people by 8%. And of course, COVID had some impact on that. So one of the risk factors, I think, is not being connected. I mean, you have to have friends, family, friends you can talk to, you can get help from, etc. But basically, probably a primary risk factor, if somebody is looking for a way to die by suicide or kill themselves, either online or asking questions, I mean, that's pretty much a red flag.
So now once we get to once we get to intervention then for that, what are some of the steps that can be taken both on a local and national basis for suicide intervention?
So intervention, we've got local resources, which would be Oak Lawn's walk-in services, and there's 2 evenings that are open. There's the emergency room. We know the crisis center is now coming next to Epworth there, and that's going to be 14 reclining chairs where we can bring somebody in. Police officer could drop somebody off, family member could bring somebody in, and do an assessment and say, hey, how serious is this particular thought as far as ideation is concerned? Do you have a plan? Have you attempted? And one of those risk factors is if you've attempted in the past, that's another strong red flag that we need to be listening to, okay? Now, there's also, nationally speaking, 988. It used to be 1-800. I never remembered the 7 number. I just remembered to spell suicide, okay? But now it's 980. You can chat, you can text, and you can talk. Any one of those 3. And there's 741 for texting, a direct line for texting. So, and that's 24/7, 365. I mean, for me as an Army person, Armed Forces, that's a battle buddy.
Sure.
That if I'm talking to somebody and I suspect they're thinking about suicide, and I'll say to them, hey, do you mind if I call the crisis line and bring a third party into this? And I've done that several times. When I'm unsure about where that person is at in terms of thinking, maybe planning, and do they have the means? So that resource person, a battle buddy for me, battle buddy for you, anybody is there for help and assistance 24/7, 365.
After the battle, when you had gone through that as a survivor, having seen people go through that, what kind of mental health things were available for you as a survivor?
Well, I really didn't because of the stigma on the first one. First battle buddy to suicide was Vietnam, so that's a long time ago. I mean, we weren't talking about it a whole lot. The most recent one was Jason Rhodes, the commander of the Marine Corps League here in town. And one day he was supposed to be back. The Marine Corps League didn't come back, went looking for him, and found out he had died by suicide. So one, we need to, for survivors, know that there are services out there. And almost every county, Plymouth, LaPorte, Goshen, has a suicide survivor support group. And I do a suicide survivor support group. That grief for that survivor is very unique. It's unlike somebody that dies from, let's say, heart disease, cancer, anything like that, okay? Because we know the why. But somebody that dies by suicide, no, the survivor just has a hard time and they want to know the why. And they want to know, gee, did I miss some risk factors there? So there's some guilt that they're dealing with.
Right.
I mean, it's a unique kind of grief that they struggle with.
So what other resources are out there besides your center?
So beside those suicide survivors support groups, you can go online with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, AFSP. AAS, American Association for Suicidology, is out there, okay? And they have virtual support kind of groups and services that are available to survivors. And tape conversation where past survivors have talked about their life, how they got it together after that. And grief stays on. I got somebody in my group that lost her mother almost 30 years ago. So it's a unique kind of grief that we're dealing with.
And with that unique kind of grief, because each one is different. How are people trained in how to counsel people that are these survivors?
So a suicide survivor support group is not a therapy group. Okay. And there are places that we can go through as far as referring somebody to a therapist. It could be Oak Lawn, could be a private therapist,
sure,
etc. So a support group is nothing more than, what do I want to say, an exclusive entry into a club that nobody wants to be in.
Yeah.
And it's not therapy. I mean, there are guidelines that we go through at the very beginning. There's a self-introduction. Who did you lose? And when did you lose it? Lose that loved one by first name. But then we open it up for issues. And some of those might be, you know, how do I get my family members to understand what happened? Because within the same family, you might have, let's say, 3 sons or daughters. One accepts what happened as a suicide, right, and the other one is running away and doesn't want to talk about it. I mean, The whole range of emotions are there.
Well, Kent's programs are offered as part of United Health Services, and if you wish to learn more about these suicide prevention programs, we encourage you to go online to uhs-in.org/programs/suicide prevention.
Jesus' instructions were simple. We are to be a light for all to see. Spread the word distributes God's word, the light of Christ, with intention and focus. We need your help to do more and to reach more people. Visit the new BiblesForAll.org website to partner with us and help shine that light. BiblesForAll.org. Give today to share the enduring word of God and help share God's love and spread the word.
Welcome back to Open for Business. I'm Kathy Friend, and today we're in Ligonier at the Fashion Farm, checking out the maze, the slide, the pumpkins, the mums. I sit down with Jason Becker, third-generation owner, to give us all the details about the Fashion Farm. I'm here with Jason Becker, third-generation owner of the Fashion Farm. So the first question I need to ask is, where did this name Fashion Farm come from?
Well, my grandfather was a cattleman originally, and in the 30s, he purchased his first red poll cattle. It was a calf, and he ended up naming that calf WB Fashion. And in honor of that calf, when he purchased his first family farm, he named the farm after that calf.
Okay, so now the mystery has been solved. We know where the name comes from.
No clothing, no fashion, yes.
Everybody knows the Fashion Farm as the place for the straw maze. What other kind of fun things can we do here with the family?
Well, the kids love going through. We have a grass maze. So it's not a corn maze. We do a sedan grass, which is about 10 feet tall. Oh. And so it's really cool for the kids to go through that. We have a corn pit where they get to slide into and play in the corn. We have a standing straw maze for the kids to go through. And of course, the hay ride. They love to go out into the field and see where the pumpkins actually grow. Mm-hmm. We have a giant slide for the kids and adults to be able to go down and enjoy.
The slide is new.
Yep, we built it last year. We have kids just go round and round and just love doing it. Yep.
Well, I thought this was the Fashion Farm, so I'm not really dressed to go down the slide, so I recruited some of our production crew to test it out.
You could try that for sure, but you get in and it's a hamster wheel basically.
It's awesome.
As you step forward, it starts to roll.
Oh, the things that I do, okay.
Well, once you get going, you can really get going.
Gosh. Oh gosh, oh gosh.
Okay, I got it.
Did I adequately squeal?
You did it.
Okay, that is a thigh workout, man. What is the Pumpkin Fantasyland, is that right?
Pumpkin Fantasyland, that's correct, yep. We've been doing that for over 50 years now. This is Charlie Pumpkin, and this is my grandpa, that's who he's known as. And this year our theme is we're helping to celebrate our 50 years of doing Pumpkin Fantasyland.
50 years of pumpkins.
Yeah. So we do over 25 acres of pumpkins, gourds, and squash. And in order to create all these displays, Wilbur the pig, Charlotte's the
pumpkin pig.
Yeah. So we are using all of these things to help create the imagination and creativity.
I see the octopus.
Yeah.
This was your grandfather's?
Yep, that started coming up with these different scenes and these different thoughts.
Oh, it's the Flintstones.
It is the Flintstones. So this is, just using that creativity, putting it together.
This is the pumpkin president you were telling me about.
Yep, the Hall of Presidents. So each year we do all of the presidents on a pumpkin. This is something that Grandpa started way back in the beginning, and we've kept that tradition for every year. Sharon, our artist, who's been doing this for 39 years for us, does the artwork and just does a wonderful job.
Sharon is quite an artist. So So all of that outdoor fun and all of the mazes can work up quite an appetite. And I understand that there's all things pumpkin flavored. I heard something about pumpkin ice cream.
Yep. We have our own recipe. We make our own pumpkin ice cream here, along with other varieties, vanilla, chocolate. We also do pumpkin donuts, and very well known for the pumpkin donuts.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
They're pretty good. Pumpkin cookies, pumpkin bread, through pumpkin pie in the restaurant as well.
I'm hungry.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the restaurant.
Excellent. Yep. You also have a floral shop and gift shop here for those of us that like to deck out our homes with fall decor.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yep. So for full service floral shop, we do all our custom design work in there. All the decor you could need for fall, as you can see from behind us with the different decor along with all the pumpkin varieties.
So Jason, tell me, where are you located? Where can people get more information?
Absolutely. We're located at 1680 Lincoln Way West in Ligonier. In Elkhart County, it's County Road 50. We're right on the edge of Elkhart County. You can visit us on our website, fashionfarminc.com. We have directions there along with videos to show you all the additional information.
Jason, thank you so much for joining us today. It's hope to see all of you at the Fashion Farm.
It's Chuck Freeby and Angelo DiCarlo inviting you to join us each Friday at 6 p.m. on Pulse FM for the Tire Rack Drive to the Game.
Look, so many of you are often attending high school football games. We want to give you a high school football show to listen to as you're in your cars driving to your game. Hence the name of the show, the Tire Rack Drive to the Game.
We'll preview the area's big games, including our 46th game of the week with interviews and picks. Tune in each Friday night at 6 on Pulse FM.
Our community, your call. Charlie back again for Open for Business, talking Michiana Crime Stoppers. 40 years of making a difference. And in studio, we have a very special guest coordinator, Lieutenant Kayla Miller. And Kayla, folks out there know about Crime Stoppers. I want to know some recent stats that back up what's been happening over 4 decades and recently.
Okay, so I'll try to break it down real quick for you here. So number of total cases, whether it be warrants or cases solved, we've hit over 11,400 cases. Total arrests since 1983 has been 8,639 arrests. Number that I like to talk about is rewards that have been authorized, 1,232,685. And if that wasn't enough, we've helped recover in stolen property and narcotics just in Michiana since 1983, $18,217,653 worth. So yes, it works.
Significant. I came to this community in 1988, so Sam Walsh was the director, then Dave Schock, Cindy Kilgore, you are the fourth. As lieutenant coordinator, you have taken the baton and really moving it on. Give folks a history lesson a little bit of Crime Stoppers nationally, South Bend, and then Michiana.
So it started in 1976 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The detective was Greg McAleese, brand new detective, and he caught a homicide case that went cold real quick. And so before he was a detective, he actually was in the media world. And so he reached out to a few friends and old colleagues and said, hey, I have this idea. I want to put together a reenactment of this case and show it to the public and see if we can get some leads about it. And he and his partner actually manned the phone lines themselves, put together the cash from their pockets and offered a reward. And sure enough, they received information that helped solve that case, as well as information about other cases that were cold in that area. So that's how Crime Stoppers was born in the U.S. Fast forward a few years, 1983 is when our program began here in Michiana, known then as South Bend Area Crime Stoppers. Fast forward a few years, we changed the name to Michiana Crime Stoppers to encompass more of who we are, because we do cover 12 counties in the Michiana area.
Lieutenant Miller, let's talk about what kind of cases, crimes do you work and how the people get involved?
Yes, so we only cover felony crimes. So It has to be a felony crime for us to feature it, or a felony warrant. We will take information about misdemeanors and pass it on, but it is not eligible for a reward. We have to focus on those felony crimes and those felony fugitives. Those are the ones that are eligible for rewards anywhere from $300 up to $2,500.
You've had changes with the times and recent incentive changes. Explain that.
Yes, so our speedy reward. So what is that? That is a reward for someone who already has a warrant. Police have already identified what crime they've committed and a warrant's been issued for their arrest. If your tip leads to their arrest, it used to be $200 and now it's $300. If you provide a tip about a case that is actually being solved, so you've got vital information about a case, and our board of directors votes on that, then that can go up to $2,500. But we have a couple special rewards in there. So one is our victory over violence. If it involves gun violence in any fashion of a felony, it's automatically $1,000. The board does not have to vote anymore. So as soon as your reward, or as soon as your tip leads to that solving, then we can authorize that reward. If it's a homicide tip, it used to be $1,000, and we just upgraded that to $2,500.
Outstanding. MichianaCrimeStoppers.com is the website. Follow them on Facebook, social media. Let's talk about how the community can get involved.
So of course we're always looking for tips about felony crimes and fugitives. That's number one. But not everyone has that information. So there's still ways for you to help. Obviously, then what we're looking for is share our stuff on social media. Every single time you share it, that means that someone else maybe sees that, and before you know it, someone that you know maybe knows someone who knows somebody, and you're the catalyst that provides the information we need. So that's number one. But secondly, we really need your support financially. We're a nonprofit, and so that over $1 million we paid out, we have to raise that money ourselves. And so every year we have 2 events. They're shredding events. So you're able to protect yourself against identity theft by supporting Michiana Crime Stoppers with a donation. So it's a win-win for everyone. So protect yourself and donate to Michiana Crime Stoppers, which helps pay for all of these rewards that are staying right here in Michiana.
Lieutenant Miller, in our final seconds here, what's a message you would like to say to the folks out there about how they can make a difference?
I'd always say that no puzzle piece is too small. So I apply this to investigations when we're looking for all the information, and when we, as Michiana Crime Stoppers, puts information out there and asking for help, it's usually that one missing puzzle piece that we're looking for. But you're also the puzzle piece to our community and the entire program, and so every little piece that we put in makes that puzzle whole. So you always hold that puzzle piece.
4 decades, it is outstanding to get the very latest on Michiana Crime Stoppers. Facebook, be sure to follow them there, MichianaCrimeStoppers.com. Thank you, Lieutenant Miller, for being here on Open for Business.
Thanks so much for having us.
We know you're working daily to make the right choices. MHC Life is here to help by offering supplements and materials like the Super Heart Pack. Included is mineral concentrate, Sol-U-C, omega-3, and vitamin D3. The Super Heart Pack is an excellent way to boost your immunity, combat fatigue, and provide overall maximum heart health. Order today for only $49.95. Visit mhclife.com or call 1-800-965-2345.
Thanks for watching. If your business would like to be featured on an upcoming episode, email us at openforbusiness@WHME-TV46.com. We'll see you next time. We're Open for Business.